Hi everybody, it's Talia here from And So We Craft with week 12 of my baby project life album. So we're going to run through this nice and quickly. I've used this 4x6 journaling card from Simple Stories as my main focus for my title page, and that's a really easy way to just have an effective looking title card. Also, I just want to mention with the title cards, they're not 100% necessary. They're just an easy way to mark out the date block and what week it is. But a lot of people do put them into these spots as well. That's my preference, is to have them like that, but I won't always do that. Then we can move along. I made this collage on my phone in an app called PicFrame. And that is a really easy way of getting lots of photos into a small space to print out. We can go down, nothing too much interesting except for using some more of the L Studio bits and pieces and journaling tags and circles that I've been using lately. Go through a bit of twine is always nice. As we go down here, you'll see that I have had to record a very unfortunate incident whereby my son got sunburnt. It was his very first day at the beach, and it sort of, didn't end well. And it's my preference to include and write down stories that aren't always the happiest, but I like them because they are a part of this person's history. They're a part of that story, and I mean, I don't want it to be doomy and gloomy and focus on bad things, but I think that sometimes you can acknowledge not so good things, and you don't have to make a big deal about it. I just had a little story that I want to write to include in it. One of the things I really wanted to talk about though for this week was about different ways to date your photos. So for this layout, I've used quite a few different ones. This is a really common one, and you'll see that I use this a lot through all of my scrapbooks, because when I'm going through and dating is the last thing that I do. I talked the other week about my sort of a 4-week process that I go through. So I'm doing dates for 4 double page layouts and the one time, just so I don't have to access my computer heaps to do the scrapbooking. So this is just a really easy way of writing the date. Another way would just be to write 24 March 2012, and then I did show you last week this way of writing the date as well, where I wrote it all out in words instead of in numbers like I have here. So that's one way of writing the date, and all you need for that is a pen. I've been using these Amy Tangerine pens. They're very fun. But yeah, I can share with you a few good pens if you're keen. Another way is to do use a embellishment that is specifically for the date, like I have here. And so I've actually date stamped onto this tag, and just used the date, if you can see. Another way is to use a stamp that has a room for the date, so that's an easy way. And then the other way I have on this set is to use a roller date stamp, and I'll just show you each of those things on a separate card. So the date, whatever the date is, the 20th of the 3rd, 2013 maybe. So that's one way to do it, and then we can write it out. But I'll show you the different stamping ways that I have. So, me a minute. I've got these stamps by Elle Studio, and I'll include a picture. You can see this is the on the day one I used. This one has a spot for the date here. This one has a spot for the date. So we'll put a few onto our block and I'll show you how they work. And there's lots of these date sort of stamps around. So you just put them onto these acrylic blocks, makes it really easy. Oops, excuse me. Ink them up. So with the acrylic stamps, they're clear, so you can see exactly where you're putting them down. And just want to put, I find different stamps need different amounts of pressure. Some, if you push them too hard, then they, seep out, and that doesn't work so well. You just need to experiment on a piece of card like this before you stamp onto your actual good thing that you're scrapbooking. So we can take that off. Oops. There you go, this one I could have pressed a bit harder. You can see there. So then I can use stamps like this to put the date in and just fill it out. And then another thing are these roller date stamps, and they're super popular at the moment. These are the only two that I have, but there are tons around, and they come with little phrases. So this one is the one I used. I put this to Saturday was the right day for this photo that you can see there. And so it says Saturday and it has the date out. I'll just stamp them with whatever date I still have it on. So you just ink it up. These, again, play with them. Oh, that looks beautiful. And so you just turn these to turn the different numbers, and you turn this on the side, which I can't do one-handed, to change them. So this one I like because it has all the days. That's why I chose that one. But this one, this Amy Tangerine one, uses lots of different phrases. I originally bought it because I thought it was quite travel-y, but now that I look at it, I use it for all sorts of things because, the photo op here and there, real life, the arrow particularly, at this moment today, they all work really well, just with lots of everyday life things. So this one says documented. Yeah. Oops, obviously. Be careful when you do that. I don't think, yeah, that's the problem, is I didn't have it straight on. That's why it gave me a funny date. So be careful of that. And the other way to do it is often in like cheap shops and stuff like this, you can get really fun little date stamps. And they, I mean, if you want to use stamps, it doesn't have to be complicated or expensive or anything like that. These ones I got in a cheap shop in Japan, but certainly, that's irrelevant. I've over the years had lots of them from lots of different places, and definitely from home. So maybe this one happens to have days as well in it. And put the year, and often I do have actually the year in all of these, but because this is an album for a specific year, like this is a 2012 album, I don't need to necessarily put the year in, but it's totally up to you whether or not you want to do that. So the challenge for this week is to have a go if you can have a go at using a different sort of way of dating, that would be great. But I'm going to focus specifically if you can have a go at using these roller date stamps, because they're really fun and you can buy them from lots of different places. But I reckon even from Officeworks, they won't have the fun little sayings that go with them, but you could definitely buy a normal date stamp from the office, and that would work too. So I can't wait to see what everyone comes up with the challenge, and don't forget to show what you've been working on our Facebook page or on our blog, and go on the draw to win a fantastic prize at the end of the month. See ya!